And that whilst your purpose
that you've signed up to
your
and we share together is to be your best in all you do.
And greatness can only be measured by the difference between before you showed up and after you showed up. If I look at the number of people whose lives have been transformed by your voice, that's how we measure your greatness.
I'm a teacher, so I like engagement. So please put it in the comment section. And I like to start with affirmation exercises. And I'll tell you why. This is my third time in Speak for Gold. We are not the normal one. I was here in cohort 2, 3, and 4. Why am I here? Something happens to 3 dimensions of your life: your mind, your spirit, and your body when you're in Speak for Gold. So I like to start with affirmations exercises. So I'm just going to guide us on some affirmations. And the reason why is because I need you to hear your voice as you bless yourself. I need you to hear your words, speak to yourself, your mind. Peradventure, there's any residue of mindsets. Maybe there's a mind block, something that might limit you from being tremendously blessed in the next 30 minutes. I'm going to guide you on some affirmations. So you just repeat these words after me. Please put them in the comment section. I need you to lift your voice because affirmations are powerful when you raise them, when you speak them out. I'm big on affirmations. I love to start all my teachings with affirmations. So let's take 1 or 2 or 3 affirmations. Say these words after me and make sure that your neighbor knocks on your door. If your neighbor does not knock on your door, you're not doing it well. If your neighbor thinks you are normal, you are not doing it well. This is the time to strip yourself of decorum, strip yourself of self. And I'm going to get there. Because you cannot be an impactful. We watched this video. He talked about authentic. The goal is for you to become an authentic speaker, where your life is a love song to God, where your voice is like an incense, an offering, and you empty yourself of every limitation. So I'm going to take you through some affirmations because I need you to get out of the way so you can be tremendously blessed. Number 1 affirmation, put it in the comment section. I am prophetic. I am prophetic. I am prophetic, and I'm reading from A Woman and Half, my book of affirmations on Amazon. You can get it later. I am prophetic, and my words are held to my soul. I am prophetic. Please put it in the comment section. I am prophetic. My words are held to my soul. I dwell in liberty, my goodness. I dwell in liberty and set myself free from the limitations of my foundation. You did not hear me. I set myself free from the limitations of my foundation. I set myself free from the limitations of my foundation. You may be born in the interior. You may have been born to the inferior, but I dare say you have been called by the superior, and that's all what matters when you lift your voice to speak. I set myself free from the limitations of my foundation. I set myself free from the limitations of my ancestry. I am prophetic. My word is health. I'm not casual with my word. I know who I am. And we're going to take the second affirmation. This affirmation is important, and I will tell you why in a few minutes. Now, let's take this one. I see a future more glorious than my past. My goodness, somebody did not hear me. I see a future more glorious than my past. I see a future more glorious than my past. Yes, because there will be times you will stand on the stage and you might not get the reaction you need. You got to see a future more glorious than my past. Put this on. My name is a praise song for generations unborn. My name, put your name. Fela Simisola Emi, put your name. Tolu, my name is Morola, put your name there. My name is a praise song among generations unborn. My name, my name is a praise song among generations unborn. And this last, I am Googled as an example of legacy. I am Googled as an example of legacy. You need, this one is important because FD will be talking about institutions on Friday. I am Googled as an example of legacy. My name is important. When they are Googling Oprah and Googling Maya, may they Google your name. When they Google Martin Luther, may they Google your name. With your voice, Speak life unto you. You are the greatest oracle over your life. You are the first prophet over your life. Your words are anointed to bless you, advance you, inspire you. And we're going to take 2 more affirmations. I know why I need this affirmation. Your mind is the greatest block in you releasing your voice for God to use it. I need you to say this regardless of your personality, whether you're melancholy, phlegmatic, it doesn't matter. Say this next one. I am enthusiastic. I am enthusiastic and excitable. I am enthusiastic and excitable. I bring undeniable energy. I am fun to be around with. I bring undeniable energy. I am fun to be around with. I am enthusiastic. Do you know, like Evie said, hope is contagious. Enthusiasm is contagious, so is apathy. Say these words: I am enthusiastic, I am fun to be around, I bring undeniable energy. And we are going to take the very last affirmation as I move on. And I love this particular affirmation. I've said this affirmation for 20 years. I started saying the next one as a prayer. When I have an interview, when I have a presentation, I say this. Simple. When the eyes see me, they give witness. And when the ears hear of me, they submit. My goodness, you didn't hear that. Oh, how can you be intimidated when when environment is intimidated by you? When the eyes see me, they give witness. When the eyes see me, they give witness. When the eyes see you, they are giving witness. When they see you, they are giving. When the ears hear of you, they submit. When the eyes see me, they give witness. When the ears hear of me, they submit. I am blessed. You need to start blessing yourself. Free yourself from your limitations. I want to say to you, with all due respect, get out of the way. And it brings us to today's quick teaching. I hope it's going to be as quick as I want it to be. Again, thank you, FD, for having me. Eden Onwuka, who is Eden? This woman is, I like what I'm hearing, but who is she? We took the affirmation. So let's quickly, I know I've been introduced, but in 5 simple ways. I'm a mom of 3 amazing, beautiful girls, and a husband and a wife of 1 good man. I'm a John C. Maxwell certified coach. In the area of your relationships are about to be revitalized. Relationship and your mind. Your mind, your mind, your mind. When you think of the mind shift, you think of Eden. I'm the team leader of The Woman and Half, a 3-time Amazon bestseller. Book 4 and 5 is coming out before the end of the year. I'm a small business consultant. So what I do, I'm a trained financial consultant with one of the biggest financial corporations in Texas. So what are you going to learn in the next 5, maybe 40 minutes? I'm going to share top 10 schema. What is a schema? A schema is like it's not a nugget. A schema is bigger, deeper than a nugget. A schema is like a law, a governing law that if you apply it, it will work in your life. So I'm sharing the top 10 schemas of relationship discovery. And someone is asking, what has relationship discovery got to do with me as a speaker? You're going to find out, because you cannot connect with people authentically without having a good understanding of relationship management. So at the end of the teaching today, you will have some higher level of emotional mastery, which is necessary in communication. You will also understand the parameters of boundary setting, which is necessary in impactful communication. Then you would unlearn the lies, the socio-cultural lies, the things that you believed that have held you back from manifesting in the full divinity you have as a child of God. Then if we have some time, we'll take some questions. The first schema is you had a purpose long before you had a partner. Put that in the comment section. You had a purpose long. Listen to the way I'm stressing long. You had a purpose long before you had a partner. Knowing this truth will make you not wait for permission to embrace your God-given purpose. Because I coach men and women, especially women. Many times people do not release themselves to fulfilling purpose because they are waiting on the sidelines for someone to permit them to do what they have been predestined to do before the creation was formed. Your existence was a conversation between God and heaven. It predates any man or woman. So no dimension of relationship, no matter how strong that relationship is, whether it's a covenant relationship like marriage, whether it's single, married, divorced, entangled, not sure, complicated, situationship, assumptionship, fellowship, no dimension of relationship, even assumptionship, should stop you from fulfilling purpose. If your father does not permit you, God and I permit you. Step into that. That is why you have breath. I like to say that oxygen is your permission to live today. Someone put it down in the comment section. Oxygen is your permission to live not just today, but to embrace your purpose. You had a purpose long before you had a partner. You had a purpose long, and I'm stressing this because if you are of the Asian culture or African culture, you understand how many people will, unfortunately, and I'm hoping that is not you, no one is here. How many people will go back to God and say, actually, God, it's the woman you gave me, it's the man. The books didn't come out because I was it's the children. It was my boss. It was my co-worker. It was the president. It was the vice president. It was my neighbor. I hope you will not be that person. Oxygen is proof that you should manifest today. This schema is very important because when we talk about relationship discovery, I don't want you to limit it to marriage. No, there are 3 dimensions of relationship. Your relationship with yourself, your relationship with others, and your relationship with God. I'm hoping you do believe in God. When people stand on the stage to speak, these 3 dimensions are playing out. Do you know, I've talked to a woman or women that they don't show up because they don't want their ex to see them online. So they limit their visibility. I talk to people who wouldn't speak out or do purpose or follow a God-given dream because of their in-laws. I talk to people who the greatest limitation is them. Me, I'm a star. Do you know who I am? They stand in their way. In the last session, Dr. Gloria does it brilliantly as usual. And the last thing she said, what do you want to be remembered for? And Eddie said, what problem do you want to solve? And immediately I heard in my spirit, you can't solve a problem when you are the problem. I'm sorry, guys. You can't solve a problem when you are the problem. And you become the problem when you do not know the limitations that are tying you down and you do not deal with those limitations. If God has anointed you to write 10 books and you allow the limitations of your foundations, remember that's why we took the affirmations, and you allow what your stepmother said or what people will say, if you allow those to start, then you have become the problem. So you had a purpose long before a partner. That schema will heal your relationship with yourself, with others, and your relationship with God. Let's quickly go to the second schema. And this is very important. Your value is greater than just one day. Your value is greater than just one day. Please put that in the comment section. Your value is greater than just one day. I want you to personalize this. My value is greater than just one day. I need you to affirm that to yourself. This is the second law of relationship rediscovery. There are many people that have got stuck on an event that happened in their past. Incidentally, today is my father's transition anniversary. 11/11. He was buried 15 years ago. So a lot of us have those kinds of dates. The dates, where, I fell, the dates where I was, I lost a job, the dates where something happened, we all hold on to that date. This second schema is about to liberate you regardless of what the dates are, whether the dates are in your past or if the dates are going to be in your future. I need you to know that your value is greater than just one day. We listened to a video about FD, when he shared when he, filled an audience, or he rented a big space and only 34 people had showed up. We all have those days. I remember the very first masterclass I did years ago. I brought food, set up everything, and only 2 people registered. Only 2 people registered then. So I just made it into a girls' hangout. And I said to them, I just wrote those 2 clients, I've changed the theme. We are just going to have a private one-on-one. Because you will have those days that are going to define you. But the issue is not those days, it's what you do with those days. Because what you do with days like that will either make you interpret it as a circumstantial event or an experiential crisis. A circumstantial event it's what it is, it happens. What is next? You will not do the why me? What is wrong with me? Nobody listens to me. Why is nobody joining my life? Why don't they listen to I talk? Why do my clients not want to pay? You will not go there. You will just say, what next? What do I need to do? What do I need to learn? What do I need to start being? Who do I need to talk to? Your value is greater than just one day. And I know we all have those days. Some days are more traumatic than the others. Maybe the loss of a loved one, like when I was diagnosed with cancer. Oh, we all have those days. But I want to say these words to you. It was an event. Please don't make it a monument. Please write that down. Put it in the comment section if you can. It was an event. Every day is an event. Do not make it a monument. As long as you survived it, as long as you have breath in your life, you have an opportunity for a comeback. And as a speaker, as a communicator, as a leader in any sphere of influence, the greatest gift you will have is the gift of comeback. It is a gift of grit and resilience. It was an event. Please do not make it a monument. If they don't show up, show up. If they don't like your post, show up. If they don't share your post, show up. If they don't listen to you, keep at it. Keep at it. Continue. Continue. Labels do not last. Scandals are seasonal. You need to get out of your way. It was an event as traumatic, as shameful, as debilitating, as scandal. It was an event. Do not make it a monument. That is the difference between 2 people in a pandemic. 2 people that life has happened to. One will look at it and say, not why me, well, what now? One will look at it and say, I'm finished. And remember that your words and the words of God, the sound of your voice and the voice of God, FD said, in the realm of the spirit, the enemy does not know the difference. So whatever you say, creation is saying amen to it. It was an event. Do not make it a monument. And I'm saying this to you because you cannot be successful as an entrepreneur if you do not know how to manage first your internal conversations as it affects your mind. Because you cannot be an authentic. What is authenticity? Let me give you another definition. When your spirit, soul, and body are aligned, 3/3. When your spirit, soul, and body are aligned, that's what's authentic. When you show up, you are not showing up your body and your spirit is behind. You are not showing up in your mind and your body is. When you show up, spirit, soul, and body, I need you to be the most impactful speaker of your generation because your soul is aligned. It was an event. Don't make it a monument. At the age of 20, if Detroit Red died at the age of 20, you would not have known him. He was a petty thief, a wife beater, and a drug peddler. Some of us don't even know who I'm talking about. Detroit Red is the iconic Malcolm X. At the age of 20, he was a drug peddler and a wife beater. He was on crack. It was an event. Don't make it a monument. At the age of 21 or 20, Maya was homeless, jobless, a stripper, a prostitute, a single mother out of wedlock. It was an event. Don't make it a monument. Your ability to internalize this truth will give the interpretation you give to events. If they boo you up the stage, you boo yourself back to the stage. Let's go to the third schema. Oh my goodness, I love this one. This one is one that I teach my clients and it has governed my life. It's a mindset reset. That's why this teaching is the shift for the lift. The shift for the lift. Without this shift, you cannot have the lift. Nothing sits on the throne of your life without your consent. Somebody is going to go back to their office and they will be different, regardless of how many co-workers like you. See, their likeness or not likeness should not affect your purpose. Nothing sits on the throne of your life without your consent. You see, the problem is that we underestimate how strong we are. You're not as helpless as you think. Caveat, with the exception of minors and, in situations where they were abused or maybe the intellectually disabled, if you're an adult over 18, nothing sits on the throne of your life without your consent. And somebody is saying, but how did I consent for this thing happening to me? Oh, you may have consented with your ignorance. You may have consented with, with not acquiring the knowledge. You may have consented by not sharpening your discernment to know, when to move and when to. You may have consented by your lack of boundary. You may have consented by being too quiet. Your deliverance is in the books you have not read, in the phone calls you don't make, in the masterclass you haven't paid for, in the relationship you haven't nurtured, in the culture of honor you haven't given. Nothing sits at the throne of your life without your consent. Understanding this is the first step to emotional mastery, which you need as a leader and as a speaker. I tell myself, no, they can't rent space in my head. You shouldn't go around with a to-let sign, I'm available. No, not every cat call should be your engagement. You understand, like Eddie said, the sanctity of your voice. You just say to myself, I disengage. I ain't doing that. I'm sorry. I disengage. There's ministry to do. Souls are perishing. Their destiny is at stake. I'm sorry. I disengage. Ruth Bader Ginsburg said, I dissent. Yours is, I disengaged. I need to call my soul back. I need to fix my mind because there are frameworks to bet. I disengage from strife. I disengage from drama. I disengage from gossip. I disengage from whatever does not advance my destiny. Nothing sits on the throne of your life without your consent. When I understood this, I even realized, as wonderful, gracious as my husband is, he's not responsible for my happiness. He's not responsible for he's not my therapist. Your wife is not your therapist. Your ex is not your therapist. Your boyfriend is not your therapist. Your boss is not your therapist. You decide to have joy, because when you have joy, then you can show up authentically. As a speaker, you need a level of strength that comes from joy and a right mindset to impact people. Brené Brown, in our award-winning TED Talk, please go and watch it. It has been viewed over 29 million times. She talked about the stories we tell ourselves. Brené Brown said the stories we tell ourselves help us either react or respond. So we can all have the same story. There's a slide I like to share, but I didn't put it here, where you have a set of words. And I'm just going to put those words in the comment section. Maybe if you can see it, or maybe I can. Anyway, the words are G-O-D. Can someone write it down for me, please? G-O-D-I-S. Anyone helping me out here? G-O-D-I-S. Okay, I think I can, okay. No, write it together, or let me put it down. Let me see if I can put it down. Okay, let me put it down. Okay, so if you look at the comment section, you see a word, G-O-D-I-S-N-O-W-H-E-R. The stories we tell ourselves, someone is going to look at that word and say, oh my, God is nowhere. God is nowhere. God is nowhere. God is nowhere to be found. God is nowhere. And another group of people, perspective, is going to look at it and say, God is now here. Someone is going to rearrange those words. One group of people are going to say, God is nowhere, same words. And someone is going to say, God is now here. Nothing sits on the throne of your life without your consent. Your interpretation will either increase the situation or lessen it. When I was diagnosed with cancer, January 7, 2017, I let myself go. I was saying, God, why me? Why me? Why me? I let myself sink into terrible depression for 2 weeks. Then I said, Eden, you got to take your own medicine. If someone called you and said to you, Eden, this is the situation, what would you tell them? And you know, this cohort has been different because FD, unusually, even he never taught perspective in other cohorts, but he has been teaching it. I wrote these words in my journal in January 2017. I said, your perspective determines your narrative. I just said to myself, Eden, this cancer is bad. This is an unusual diagnosis. It is horrible. It is horrible. It is horrible. But Eden, don't make it worse. Now, it doesn't mean that the cancer went. I wish it did, but it didn't go until I went for treatment. But I made sure that I was not an additional pain on top of my pain. So you can see God is nowhere, or you can see God is now here. If you understand that you're not that helpless and nothing sits on the throne of your life without your consent, then you will realize that you're not as helpless as you think. Let's quickly run. Number 4, this is my favorite. Stop solving for X. They are not solving for you. Mathematically, where are the mathematicians? Stop solving for X. They are not solving for Y. Now, if we solve for X, you know, mathematically it's fun. But when we start solving for X, for some is our EX, and X is not really an X, it's not really a relationship, and X is anything you should walk away from. Funny enough, FD talked about distractions. Anything, any label, the regret, the woulda, coulda, shoulda, your ability to keep powering on and reinventing yourself after trolls come at you on social media, when people question your motive, when they don't believe you, lies in this fourth schema. Stop solving for X. Somebody needs to hear this in their spirit. Stop solving for X. They are not solving for Y. I do not do regret. Regret is a waste of energy. Regret is what I call energy in reverse. It does nothing for you. What I do, rather than regret, I do recalibration. Recalibration is a picture of going back to that spot where you missed it and picking the lessons and moving on. Now, when you think of regret, a good example, I love using biblical analogies, is Lot's wife. She looked back at the woulda, coulda, shoulda, and she stopped moving. So someone is saying, but Eden, how do I know if it's regret or recalibration? Regret stops your motion. Regret stops your motion. Anytime you look back and you stop moving and you're like, there's no need to continue, that's regret. Anytime you look back and like there's no need to go on, that's regret. Anytime you look back and, you know, in repentance and you are immobilized, that is regret. Recalibration does not stop your motion. It empowers you to advance. So the Lord's wife was regret. The prodigal son, you call him the prodigal, but we know that he was not the prodigal. The real prodigal was the one who never left, who never confronted his demons. The prodigal son is an example of recalibration. These guys woke up one day in the pigsty and said, oh my God, what have I done? I'm filing for bankruptcy. What have I done? And he started looking back. So he looked back actually like Lot's wife. But he looked back and didn't stop there. He said, oh my God, I have 3 options here. Option 1, sonship. I know I'm not going to be a son. Option 2, servantship. I may become a servant. And option 3, pigship. I will remain with the pigs. So he said, option 1, sonship. If I don't get option 1, sonship, I may get option 2, servantship. But if I don't get option 2, option 3 is not an option. I don't want to sit with pigs. So I'm looking back, I'm going to return. So his regret or his looking back propelled him to move. Nothing sits on the throne without your consent, and you need to stop solving for X. When people are telling me of how the good old days, the things they missed, I tell them, make sure that what you are looking back at is forcing you to advance. Woulda, coulda, shoulda has never helped anyone. Do not regret, recalibrate. Don't check their profiles. Don't stop them. Just heal. If you're in that place, so you know I'm speaking to you. Don't check their profile. They are not going to die. Nothing is going to happen to them. Heal and start moving on. Then this one is important because we talk about self-love and sometimes we can miss it. You can't really love without the revelation of your love interest. You can't love without the revelation of your love interest. If you are in a relationship, I need you to do something today. Say to God, God, show me her. God, show me him. Ask God, God, show me my boss. God, show me my mentors. Go back, say, God, show me my teammates. God, show me. Ask God to reveal people around you. If you see their brokenness, you will not be hasty with how you judge them. God, show me them. Give me a revelation of my children. Help me to see them through your eyes. If you see your spouse, if you see your wife, if you see your boss, if you see anyone in authority or connected to you with the eyes of God, you will remove the mask and you will love them the way they should be loved. Vulnerability is one of the most popular tools for connection, but most of us cannot be vulnerable because we don't want to be taken for granted. But without vulnerability, there's no true connection. So I want to encourage you today, in your relationships, in your leadership, take off the mask. Take off the mask. Your mask unsettles everyone. Go back to God today. Just say a simple prayer. God, show me them. Show me my husband. When I started seeing my husband the way God saw him, I loved him more. I honored him more. Some of you need to just go and ask God to show you people around you. If you see people around you without the mask, you will have healthier connections. You will have nothing to prove to anyone. The fifth one. And I'm going to speak to another dimension of relationship rediscovery and mindset that is important. If their affection leaves you in perpetual contention, it is a dysfunction. If their affection leaves you in perpetual contention, it is a dysfunction. When you survive a near-death experiences, and FD said this on a live show when she was talking to Flo, two things that become more important to you, your time and your voice. Any relationship that feeds your contention is something you need to reevaluate. Some of you are losing steam and power in contention and in dysfunction. You need to start recognizing what you carry. Access to you is a privilege. Access to others is a privilege. Understanding that privilege, having the understanding of access will help you know how to honor others in your relationship with them and how to stand in a way that people should honor you. Even as a speaker, you are not called to be on every platform. You are not called to everyone. Access to you is a privilege. Any relationship that has perpetual, the key word is perpetual. Perpetual contention is a dysfunction. If you had to calculate every second, every minute you spent on strife, you will just be, you will be shocked at how much time you have wasted. So I'm saying it to you, when I lay helpless on the bed in chemo treatment, in surgery, not knowing if I was going to live, that's when I understood that some of us spend money, some of us spend lives. Jim Rohn said that the rich invest money, the poor invest time, money, and the rich invest time. I'm going to take it again. The poor invest money, the rich invest time. Chances are that you're not going to throw pounds, and just waste it. But some of us, the way we waste our seconds and minutes on relationships that feed dysfunction. If the affection leaves you in perpetual contention, that is a dysfunction. If you're single here, you're in a relationship and you're not sure, Eden, is he the one? What am I going to do? This is God speaking to you right now. If their affection leaves you in perpetual dysfunction or contention, that is a dysfunction. You alone determine your deal breaker boundaries. I love teaching about boundaries. Boundaries are life. That's not something people love. When you put relationship and boundaries, people don't like it because they think that boundaries, is a restriction. No, only hell is a bottomless pit. Can we put that in the comment section? Nothing survives without boundaries. There's no legacy without boundaries. You cannot be an institution without boundaries. You cannot impact life without boundaries. You cannot serve your highest purpose without boundaries. Knowing who you serve is as important, or more important, knowing who you do not serve. You cannot be anywhere. The reason why people are overwhelmed, bound, broken, tired, confused is because there is no boundary. Please, only hell is a bottomless pit. You want to serve everyone, but you're not called to serve everyone. You want to be everywhere, in every class, in every Zoom. No, you gotta put some boundaries. If you do not put boundaries, you will be like Evie said, you will spend all the time, climbing up the ladder, and you get to the top of the building, and God says that's the wrong building. You cannot pursue your divine purpose if you don't understand boundaries. You are not called to everyone. You are not anointed for everyone. You shouldn't be everywhere. Only hell is a bottomless pit. You alone determine your boundaries. Without boundaries, you will be abused. Without boundaries, you will give for free what you should give for fee. Without boundaries, you will say yes when you should say no. Without boundaries, you become codependent. Without boundaries, you will not conserve what you should conserve. Without boundaries, you will waste your seed. Can someone put that down? Without boundaries, you will waste your seed. Can you put it down? Without boundaries, you will waste your seed, and you will not waste your seed. You can't gloss over your sanity limits. I know when to stop. I know when to withdraw. I know when to get out of the skin. You should know when to take a social media break. You should know when to rest. You should know when your quiet time. As a speaker, your outside life is as important as your inside life. In fact, your outside life is predicated on the power you have on your inside life. You shouldn't be everywhere. You should be brooding and growing. And without boundaries, you will waste your seed. I keep saying to you, you cannot have the right mindset or have meaningful relationship or be impactful as a leader if you gloss over your sanity limits. And guess what? Your sanity limits is not my sanity limits. What will derail you won't derail me. Some of us have the stretch. So you don't have to play to the gallery. Understand your sanity limits. In fact, from today, begin to examine your kindness. Some of us, what we call quote unquote, in quote, kindness is a dysfunction. We just don't know how to say no. And if you don't know how to say no, again, you waste your seed. So you owe it to your life to determine your boundaries. I like how Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, described boundaries. He said, toxic people think you are holding a grudge when you are holding a boundary. No is a good word, yes. Toxic people will accuse you of holding a grudge when you are holding a boundary. Someone put it in the comment, I'm going to hold my boundary. Your boundary is life. Even in the book of Genesis, there were boundaries. The fall of the first man, Adam, was because of a violation of boundary. God said, eat all these trees, but don't touch this one. You need to go back and examine what boundaries you are violating, because every boundary is for your protection and to prevent encroachment. There's encroachment, there's oil on your head. I'm going to repeat it because I'm hearing this in my spirit. There's oil on your head. There's oil on your head. There's oil on your head. And if you do not put boundaries, you waste the oil. Number 8, and we're rounding up. Your reputation is not as important as your redemption. If you are here, you have a community of people. If you need help, the greatest words you can ever speak in your healing, in your mindset is help me. Please help me. Those are magic words. They open doors for miracles. If you are here and you are in need of any sort of help, you are never alone. Please remember that your reputation is not as important as your redemption. This is a mental hack. This is a schema that will just help you to release the pressure. Always seek tested, trusted, trained intervention and practice what I call soul checkups. The biggest example of soul checkup in the Bible was David. David will sit down and say, why am I downcast, oh my soul? Why am I downcast, oh my soul? The guy knew how to talk to himself. You can't just leave yourself, why am I downcast, oh my soul? I do that when you feel a drop in energy, ask yourself, what triggered it? Follow your emotions, have conversations with yourself. If not, you are going to be, may you not be found wanting in this day where people need your solution. Do you know how many people don't show up for destiny moments because of how I'm feeling? I don't know, I don't understand myself, I'm not feeling good. No. You should be ready. That's why you should always practice soul checkups. How am I feeling? How am I doing? How am I feeling? How am I doing? So when the rubber meets the road, when your breakthrough comes, you manifest, and you don't just run away because I don't think I'm worthy, I don't think I'm ready. Your reputation is not as important as your redemption. Naomi and Tombra did a fantastic job about visibility. You can also use this as a visibility hack. Some of us, our reputation has made us not sure. What will they say? I will look somehow. No, it's okay. Shame your shame. Just keep it moving, because God is banking on you. Generations are tied to you. Keep it moving. If you need help, hey, seek help. Dr. Anita Phillips said this, and this is for our sociocultural climate. She said, prayer is a weapon, therapy is a strategy. I love this. I have a t-shirt from her. Prayer is a weapon. Therapy is a strategy. If you need therapy, go. If you need counseling, go. If you need mentoring, go. Please. We were told not to wash our dirty linens in public, but they did not tell us the truth. It depends on what the dirty linens are. There are some dirty linens you need to wash in public, because it's only in the public that you can get the help. So it depends on what the dirty linens are and what the public is. Prayer is a weapon. Therapy is a strategy. And we are going to go to number 9. Oh, I love this one. My goodness, I love this one. The degree of your irritability is in direct proportion to the degree of your maturity. Let me make it easy. The more irritable you are, the more easily offended you are, the less mature you are. So if you find yourself always irritable among your co-workers, always irritable on your job, always irritable in your relationship, it is a sign that we need to improve our maturity quotient. Maturity is a mastery of emotional irritations. So let me give you a simple thing that will carry you, especially in this kind of year. There's an emerging lockdown in the UK. You are not sure. Let me help you. The greatest sign that you are running on empty as a leader is your irritability is increased. The greatest sign that you are running on empty as a husband, check your irritability. The greatest sign that you are running on empty as a wife, check your irritability quotient. The greatest sign that you are running on empty as a co-worker, irritability. If you want to know if you are carrying the kind of overflow of oil, check your irritability. Don't ignore this, because the degree of your irritability is in direct proportion to the degree of your maturity. And this is so true, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. And a lot of us just keep moving until empty, crash, and we're like, how did we get there? So you cannot be an emotionally intelligent leader if you do not check your irritability quotient. There can be no outpouring without an indwelling. So make sure there's always an indwelling into your spirit, indwelling into your mind, indwelling in your body, what you feed it. That's why I tell you, please make sure you are doing a soul work. And your soul work is going to show you the difference between sensation and substance. Sensationalism, the ras, the boss, can only carry us thus far. It is the substance that we put inside us that will help us to not break down or shut down. And the last one, this is one that, please, can someone put it in the comment section as we round up? Someone said, say, iconize, don't idolize. This one, you need this one. Iconize, don't idolize. Iconize, don't idolize. Iconize, don't idolize. Oh, this is your key to tomorrow. This is your key for your heart to not be broken. This is your key to, the level of disappointment you feel. This is your key. Iconize, don't idolize. I heard these words in my spirit months ago. I wanted to make a tea. Iconize, don't idolize. You will not attain the... You see, when I attended Speak for Gold, in cohort 2, and the first thing Eddie said, this is a master class. I am not the master. You know what he was indirectly telling us? Don't iconize me. Sorry, don't idolize me. You may iconize me, but please don't idolize me. Look at the master. Because I may fail you. I don't intend to fail you, but I may just fail you. I may snub you. I do not intend to snub you, but there may be days when I am not in my overflow and I have nothing to give you. You may call me and you may not get me on the phone, but I'm hoping that even though you see me, that you just see me as a signpost for the one you should idolize. If you don't understand this schema, because of the stories I'm privileged to hear, this is something you should teach your children. Iconize, don't idolize. Iconize is a state of honor. It is what is called the law of recognition. I recognize the virtue you carry. I recognize the value you carry. I recognize the oil on your head. And I respect what you carry. But I do not worship you. Don't sit on a throne in my life. You must learn to iconize people. Give them honor. Honor is a seed. Be that person who honors people. But make sure that you do not put them on a pedestal where you begin to pour libation. You put cola nut and schnapps and worship them. The reason why people leave ministries because of a leader is because they iconize, they did not idolize. Sorry, they idolized, they did not iconize. The reason why people lose their mind when their partner does something is because there was an idolization, not an iconization. The reason why another human can derail you in such a way that you say, I'm not doing it again, I'm not going to speak in my life, I'm never going to be good. If you don't understand, you should iconize, don't idolize. And this is important because we are all in different stages of our healing journey. Some of us are healed, but we need to be whole. Some of us are whole, but we need to be consistent in our wholeness. Some of us need healing. You will jeopardize your journey if you do not know the difference between iconize and idolize. I read this somewhere and I believe it. Even your spouse, the best spouse is a poor God. Even the best spouse is a poor God. Love them, honor them, respect them. Don't worship them. Meaning, my husband is an exceptional man. I travel for speaking engagement, 21 days, he stays with the kids. I traveled to Egypt early this year, Naomi and he stayed with you. But let's just say God for tomorrow, he says, I'm not doing it again. Idolize, iconize. I will still owe it to my life and God to fulfill my God-given purpose. That is the difference between idolizing and iconizing, where you understand that primarily you are accountable to God for how you use your voice and you show up in your gifts. And now someone is asking, yeah, but Eden, I'm forgiving them. I'm not touching, but how do I know if I'm healing? And how do I know? Simple, I just gave you a simple hack. The unhealed part of you seeks vengeance. The redeemed part of you seeks justice. Two different things. The unhealed part of you wants them to break their head. You want to hear bad news about them. You want them to die. Like my Naomi said, pepper them. No. The unhealed part of you wants vengeance. Kill them, fire them. No. When you become healed, you don't even want vengeance. You just want justice. If someone even brings the bad news about the person who hurt you, you're not even interested. You don't wish them evil. You just want justice. So number 10 is make sure that you are healing every single day. You are healing. You are healing from the onslaught of the media. You are healing from the issues in your soul. You are healing from the limitations of your father's house. You are healing from the reactions around. You are healing. Iconize. Don't idolize. I believe that relationships are the soul of life. A wrong relationship can derail your career. A wrong relationship can remove money from your bottom line. A wrong relationship can limit your influence. So one of the greatest gifts you will give to yourself is to understand the parameters of how you, number one, relate to yourself. Number two, relate to others, both your significant others and the other others. Then how you relate to God. And the way to do that is to make sure that your mind has the right belief systems. Because there is something called glossophobia. Some of us have never heard this word, and I'm going to end with this. Glossophobia is a morbid fear of being heard, a morbid fear of visibility. And would you believe it if I told you that 75% of people have the fear of speaking? 75%. 75% of people have what is called glossophobia. They don't want to speak. Whether they are speaking to their neighbor, they don't want to speak. But the foundation of glossophobia is in three things. How people feel about themselves, which is what some of those schemas have, how people feel, how people think will always influence how people act. How you feel about yourself, what you think about yourself will always influence how you act. So that is why these 10 schemas of relationship with discovery, I'm hoping that you are going to take them and run with them. And you are going to be that person that when you die, that there will be no gift that is untapped, no talent that is unused, and you will deliver every single thing you were created to deliver on earth.